Hey everyone, it's been a while. I haven't had much to say really, but I was thinking about one thing. I've seen a couple of articles on this topic, so I thought I might comment on it. It's the topic of people chatting with AIs, LLMs like ChatGPT, and they're using it for kind of self therapy. And I'm a fan of self therapy, but uh, of course, there's going to be an issue. And I actually didn't think about this issue at first. I read this article that mentioned the obvious problem with this, and that is, yeah, the the AI is programmed to be very uh, pleasant, very nice, very kind to you. It tends to serve you things you want to hear, and especially act in a certain way so that if you like a response, it will continue in that same manner and that same pattern of argumentation and you know ideas and thoughts and so on. And that is a problem, because in therapy, one of the most major relevant things there is really not really necessarily hearing things you want to hear, but sometimes you need to hear things you need to hear. And the complexity of psychology and therapy and the experience, the real physical connection to a person you get when you seek and you meet a person in therapy. It doesn't take a lot of imagination to understand that we have a problem here. The AI can't see you. It can only respond to your thoughts. It can't really respond to the other aspects of what is obvious to a professional meeting you. When you meet a professional, they are going to analyze you in more ways than you might think of at first, especially a psychiatrist. A psychologist, that depends on where they work. But I've worked at a medical hospital, a psychiatric hospital, and I know that one of the criterias you do is a set of physical things you analyze, or you observe is the better word. The kind of just look at a person, you can see that some things are wrong in how they act and how they are maybe avoidant and their energy and so on. And all these things end up in the journal because they play a part in the diagnosis of a patient. So if you are talking with an AI, these things are not present because the AI is not a professional. It is not a physical person. It doesn't examine you. Now, in theory, you could create an AI connected to camera and so on, and it could. I'm not saying that, but that's not what's happening. People are getting analyzed by their words, and they are getting the responses they want to hear very often. And very often it is very kind responses, very generalized responses as well. Your individual problems are not going to be a part of the analyst tools here. It's going to be, it's going to be an answer that is generally, statistically, the right answer. And that unique variable that defines your problem, that might not show at all in neither your description of the problem or in the answer. So yeah, you can chat with an AI for all your heart's content. It's just a series of statistical answers. Well, I'm not really saying that's a bad thing, because hey, what's a human answer rather than an experience we have, and then that is the answer we give to someone when we talk to them. I mean, to be fair, it's probably a subconscious form of statistics where we use the answer we know is best because it's usually the best answer to give, and so on. Statistics. That's what it is. So that philosophical discussion aside, you won't really get a proper analytic session with an AI. It's impossible for various reasons, many reasons. So don't do it. Seek out a professional. You should always seek out a professional. It doesn't matter really what it is. And yeah, I think it should be programmed into these large language models that they actually tell people, hey, you're discussing a psychological thing here. You should really go and visit a doctor, a professional. That would be the correct answer to do. But of course, you can always argue that it's a general interest, or it is nothing. You can't hack your way around by how you present your text and so on. Of course, there's always those things. I think the most important thing is for the creators of these AIs to present very clearly a guidance, or some form of thing you have to click your way through before you can use it. That reminds people that, hey, we are discussing a complex topic here that's very potentially dangerous. It can lead to people ending up in really, real bad spots. So we are not going to do so. I mean, it has a lot of other tools that prevents it from discussing various dangerous topics, but it seems like psychology is one of those which it doesn't really prevent anyone from doing, unless you write really obvious bad things, then it will. But most people don't do that. That's the interesting part of psychology. Those who feel really bad are very good at hiding it, masking it. So yeah, anyways, just a thought, just a random evening thought. Don't do drugs, kids, and don't do AI as therapy, kids. Both things are bad for you. Anyways, this is the middle-aged Swedish borderline man feeling okay and signing off.